What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show, episode 127 today. It's Friday, December 2nd. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here, Droid Life.
So thanks for joining us on this fine December afternoon. We got a lot to talk about. I had a couple of weeks off. It's been holiday season, so it's just stuff going on. But we got Google Home in-house. Posted a review of that. Want to talk about Google Home. A big Pixel update came out a couple of weeks ago that adds two little features that sort of make the phone even better in a really weird way. But we got news on Motorola, what they're doing with new 360, if one's ever coming, things like that. A OnePlus 3T in-house. DIRECTV has a new streaming service. There's all sorts of stuff. So we'll try to catch up on it all. And again, yeah, thanks for joining us. So let's start with Google Home. Posted Google Home review yesterday. And I've basically been living with Google Home throughout my house for like a couple of weeks. And you have a home unit too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in my review, I basically said, I love this thing. Like over the years, I've sort of slowly invested in picking up like smart home pieces, like Nest and some light bulbs. And I have like front door locks that don't actually work with Home yet. Hopefully they will one day. But I have, like Sonos and Chromecast and things like that. And so I kind of have a smart-ish house already. And then the Home now in it, while Echo could do some of it, I'm a big Google user. So Google Home now lets me control all of this stuff in sort of the way I would want to because it connects to my Google account. So I love the thing. And at $129, it just seems like it's a pretty damn good deal. I mean, Echo's still at full price, $180. And doesn't have any access to Google stuff. So, like I said, I tried to do like a full test. Like I said, I have three of these things in my house in separate different rooms. I try to use it to control things. I didn't just like ask it silly questions and like just do a couple of like cheesy commands.
You integrated it into your life.
Yeah, I tried to like actually put it in my house and let it control stuff, which I feel like is the point. Like I get the feeling that a lot of early looks at it were just like, here's all the commands you can do and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't really feel like that's fully like operating with it. Like it's supposed to be a hub for your house and like control things. So anyway, I did that. I'm a huge fan of it. The only downside really for me is that it just doesn't work with everything, right? Like if you don't want Philips Hue light bulbs, like because they're expensive, they're ridiculously overpriced, I would say. And there's all these other brands out there that make smart light bulbs. Like you can't control those right now. So like Nest is the only thermostat right now. And like you have an Echo Bee and you can't control it, right? Or is there like an IFTT command that will? No?
Oh, there may be, but I honestly do not mess with IFTTT. Like
every time I look at it, I'm like, I'm going to really make a cool recipe. And I click a couple buttons and I just get stuck and go, and there, I'm done with this. But
yeah, that's way beyond my IQ level.
Yeah, I feel like it's beyond mine too. So anyway, the downsides I've found are just, it doesn't work with everything. Like I said, I have August smart locks on doors and I can't control those. So like things like that, it's early on and hopefully we get there. That's one of the big question marks, right? Is Google going to get us there? A lot of people are worried because Google, and rightfully so, because Google introduces stuff, half-assed, whatever, and then they just ditch things and never really materializes. Yeah. And this home space has been one of those that kind of, like, remember we had Android at home one year and they talked about it I/O for like 20 minutes and it was this huge deal and then it never happened. And then we had the doorstop, the Q. So, they've tried this many times and hopefully they follow through because I think a lot of people are buying these and a lot of people did over the holiday weekend when it was only $99. So anyways, I'm a big fan, but I'm kind of unique, I think, in a way, because I do have all of this like smart home stuff. What about you? Like you have one of these too. Are you using it? I know you used to have an Echo also. So
yeah, I used to have an Echo. Now I have Home. I replaced it with Home. But like you said, I have things that don't exactly mesh well with Google Home yet. And that's sort of unfortunate, right? Like I reached out to Ecobee and I was like, yo, can I expect support? And they're like, we're looking into it. Like, as a consumer, like that's what you hate to hear the most, because what the hell does that even mean? What could it mean? It's very vague, very ambiguous.
6 months, a month, 4 years from now. Yeah,
that's like my bank telling me, oh yeah, we're looking into supporting Samsung Pay down the road. Okay.
A year later, nothing. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like that runaround stuff, and consumers hate that. Me being a consumer, totally hate it. So I do I mean, of course, Google Home, it attaches to my Google Play Music account. So for me, that's sort of numero uno in terms of importance, only because that's where I listen to the majority of my music. Amazon was getting pretty good, especially with that $3 a month plan for their Amazon Prime Music, where you could stream millions of songs and all that stuff. Great, but then that's more money on top of money I'm already spending for Google Play Music that I use on my desktop and cell phone. So that was just sort of not necessary. Dog's going crazy. So I like Google Home, but it doesn't necessarily work with everything I have in my house. Yeah, like I can cast stuff to the TV like that. That's real fancy.
YouTube,
but then there's some things that Alexa does way better than Google Home, and just listening. It listens like, I don't know if it's the far field mic technology is just way better than Google Home's or something, but I'm screaming. Sometimes for that damn hot word, like, okay, listen to me, please. I need you to turn off the timer. And say you've got music going on top of a timer in your kitchen. You have to speak over the music and then speak very slowly because the music doesn't stop playing. So you have to sort of enunciate very well. And that stuff kind of drives me nuts. But you know, we're early, right? They can update that stuff, I would think, at least the sensitivity maybe of the mic, turn the gain up a bit.
Doesn't Echo have like 6 mics or something, and Home has 2, so that could be a part of it. But
yeah, so I just feel like it would have to get better over time. Like I just assume it does. And then another thing, I get an email every week from Amazon saying, what's new with Alexa? And the list is usually sometimes pretty good. Like they're always adding in new stuff. I haven't gotten a single thing from Google saying, here's what's new or here's what's coming, anything like that.
I've gotten an email from them every week, and it's just a reminder of stuff it already does.
Yeah, like that doesn't help me. So like I get it, you know, it's cheaper. Maybe because it doesn't have as much microphone technology, or the speakers aren't as loud or good. But I mean, come on, Google, like you've got to, yes, you have launched the product. Now you've got to catch up to where Amazon already is. And they're, I feel like, pretty far ahead in terms of the features they're offering. So Google's got time, and it's Google. I mean, they got the infrastructure to get things like that done. But like you said, they have to invest. And a lot of times when they launch these new products, they don't go all in with the investment, and that screws us as the consumer. So we'll see.
Well, one of the things that concerns me just a little bit about them actually adding on support and things like that is when the Pixel launched, and I think even Daydream, I'm trying to think of some other stuff that came out recently, but obviously the Pixel launch had this massive marketing push, right? Google Home released, and Google sent like 6 review units out to just a couple of sites. And I don't know if I've seen a commercial for it. Like it obviously doesn't have that hype and that push. Maybe it's just because they're spending all of their money on Pixel. And I know they did the big discount over the last week, and a bunch of people probably did buy these things. But so that's the only thing that concerns me, is it doesn't seem like they're like pushing it as much as they are like Pixel. And maybe that's just because they're trying to go all in on Pixel for now. But yeah, it needs to get better, and it needs to get better in a hurry.
The only commercial I've seen on TV for Google Home, I think, was a Walmart commercial, and a mother or like a dad was sitting in like a rocking chair with his infant son or baby, and he's like trying to get it to go to sleep, and mom walks in and says, "Okay, Google, play a lullaby," and it starts playing a lullaby, and so that's really cool. Like, I mean, here I am trying to sell something to the average American consumer who's totally dulled down watching TV. And it was a good commercial. And I think that was Walmart. But so yeah, that's the only commercial I've seen so far. But yeah, like you said, nowhere near the level of hype that the Pixel is getting on TV. I mean, the commercials are just everywhere, and they have a number of them. So
yeah. So Google Home, off to a good start. But yeah, Google needs to prove to us that they're ready to go nuts here and start adding in support. Like, it would be nice to have some other thermostat options, some other lighting options. And the video casting thing. You know, they really pushed like this idea that you can just say like, hey, play this on my TV, and the only thing that works is YouTube. And while YouTube's a sweet video platform, you know, people have Plex media servers. People want to use Google Play Movies. Like, why was that not? It's Google's own service. What about Netflix? Like, if you could just tell your home to like play the next episode of Orange is the New Black, like that's like just being able to say things, or like to HBO Now, like play the next episode of Westworld, and like just say that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If that actually happens. So
no, absolutely. I agree.
So yeah, Google Home, good start, nice price, even at 129. And hopefully if you were interested, you got in last week when it was 99 bucks everywhere, basically. Also, IFTTT does have like a whole section for Echo Bees.
Oh, really?
And the first one though is set your Echo Bee to room temperature with Alexa.
To room temperature?
No, it's using Alexa.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Of course. So no Google Home yet.
Yeah. I don't think so. There's probably like some workaround, some like IFTTT Pro could just like figure out some wonky workaround that would do it.
No thanks.
Trying to see. No.
It's so weird that it just, I mean, because my Ecobee is attached to my Wi-Fi, the signal is in the air, right? Like I can control Ecobee from my phone.
Right.
So why isn't it available yet? I don't know. Besides being like a thermostat that shows the weather and can control it from my phone, I'm not like overly impressed with Ecobee or anything like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get hyped up about thermostats. Like, I just don't care. Like, is it cold? Then I want it hot. Is it hot? Then I want it cold. Like, the end.
Yeah, I think the smart thermostat thing, I think it's one of those things, if you took it away, you would miss it.
Sure.
I think that's what because it's one of those, it's kind of like
Possible.
home, right? You don't like holding home in your hand all day like your smartphone. And so it just like lives in the background when you need it. It's the same thing with like a thermostat. So it's one of those things you get and you have, and it's a convenience. And then I think if you started taking those things away, you would be sad.
Totally. I guess, and then another thing, home needs a new hot word, because if I say the hot word to that and I'm trying to get something done on home, my phone will pick it up too. And
well, you could use the Hey version, right? You could say Hey Google, and that doesn't launch your phone.
it does on mine. I'm pretty sure. I think I've tried both of them. At least the Pixel does. I think it picked up the Hey.
I don't think it should. I think that's supposed to be a home exclusive.
Well, that command's been around. We've talked about like the various commands you can do. Like you used to be able to do like OK Computer, and that would also be a hot word, but I'm pretty sure I'll have to double check. I'm not even using the Pixel now. I'm using the Mate 9. So who knows? Either way.
Neither of us using Pixel right now. Yeah, that thing. But when you do it on the Pixel though, the Pixel will tell you. It'll say like I'm picking up on the other device is what it does. Like somehow they talk to each other and they decide which one gets to do its thing. But your phone will still beep and go off. Yeah.
Yeah, the phone went off and it just goes, I couldn't understand what you were saying. Please try again, etc. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, it shouldn't do that. It's supposed to just give you a message that says, I'm gonna do this on the other device. Is what it's supposed to do.
Smart little system.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, Google Home has a little ways to go here. So speaking of Pixel though, an update came out. What's the date today? Yeah, it's been like 10 days.
First, second,
yeah.
something.
It's the second. So on November 22nd, just over a week ago, an update is kind of a surprise update, actually. It started rolling out in Canada. I don't know if it's actually ever rolled out in the US, has it? I don't know if it has, actually. I don't think it did, now that I'm looking back at this. So anyways, this update randomly showed up to Canadian Pixel and Pixel XL units, 261 megabytes. And it added features that I think we all thought were going to be there from day one, which is double tap to wake and then lift to wake. And I hate to say it, but they make the phone experience instantly that much better.
That much?
Because the phone, well, I think so. Because how many times do you want to look at your phone, right, throughout a day? And with the Pixel before, like you had to wait for notification to roll in and then it would light up. But like the pickup thing wouldn't light it up. And you couldn't reach over and just tap to make it wake up. You had to either like press a button or whatever. Now you can double tap. It's like those little things that I think just improve stuff. But and I think it's also because every other phone seems to have that kind of stuff now. But anyway, that rolled out and to Canadian users, but files popped up and you could sideload it, which is what I had to do. And yeah, that stuff, I totally forgot about that update. And I don't even know if it ever actually did roll out. Like Google never announced this stuff, just Canadian users got it. But
Interesting.
Yeah, so that happened. So if you guys haven't updated yet and you want to manually update, you totally can. So you obviously didn't update then because you were using other phones.
Yeah, I mean, I checked the phone. I was still using it like a couple of days ago, and I hadn't had it. And then I started using the Mate 9, so I kind of gave up on it. But maybe one day in like the far away future, after I'm done doing the Mate 9, then the Axon 7 Mini, and then I don't know. There's just too much to do. But I miss the Pixel, if anyone cares.
Yeah, I feel like we were hoping that once Pixel came out, there just wouldn't be
It'd be
very many
done.
phones, and we could just
Yeah.
enjoy Pixel for a few months until next
Nah.
year. And it's like, no, there's all these other phones.
Yeah, that's life. But that's okay. I mean,
That's
I
okay.
mean,
We shouldn't complain too much, I guess.
yeah, first world problems.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. So in Motorola news, so Motorola had some sort of small press gathering in Chicago this week and talked about a couple of big things, actually. One of which was that no, they have no plans to make a new Moto 360, at least at this time, right? Do you know what they said there exactly?
Yeah, they
That's
said
pretty much it.
they said while in the future, they could see the benefit of having, that the wrist stuff going on. They just don't see the market for it right now. So they're going to look into other areas that exclude the wrist. So they're done.
Wearables do not have a broad enough appeal for us to continue to build on it year after year.
Yeah.
I will say though, when people buy watches and things like that, right? Like smartphones, many of us are trained to buy a new one every year, right? Or sometimes more than that. But it used to be this 2-year scale or like schedule. And now it seems like people just want to upgrade all the time, right? You always want the newest, fastest phone.
Mm-hmm.
But when you buy a watch, like a traditional watch, you don't necessarily buy a new one all the time, right? Like you buy a watch, you hang on to it for a while, and they're usually a sort of a classic look, maybe, and you could just keep wearing them. I wonder if it's like that a little bit with wearables and smart watches in general. Like you spend enough money on one, you feel satisfied, and you hope that it lasts you for longer than a year. So maybe coming out with a new one every single year for these companies is such a great idea. Like I feel like the new Apple Watch hasn't been getting half the buzz that it did than the original, and maybe it's just because everyone still has their really expensive Apple Watch and they don't really want to fork out for another one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally possible. I think that's sort of like the disconnect where wearables aren't as desirable as, say, a smartphone. I mean, you use your smartphone every minute of every day, whereas like I guess the wearable is sort of it. I feel it just needs to be an extension, man. And for the longest time, humans never had an extension of like that digital thing on the wrist. It was always just like a timepiece. So I know like you and we enjoy just timepieces, and that's why when we get like an Android Wear watch, we want it to look very fashion forward, kind of friendly, like it looks like an actual watch. So, and not like a digital computer on your wrist.
Right.
So things like the Neptune Pine or whatever, man, that thing was brutal.
That thing was awesome.
An ankle bracelet on your wrist.
There's a good TBT, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So point being, no. I think what Motorola had, I feel like the best one, or at least the best approach, and they had the best product, and maybe kind of tied up with Huawei Watch 2. But the Moto 360, man, that original was so great, at least in my opinion. I just love the
overall design. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the design, the use of the Horween leather. Like it was a quality product, and I saw a lot of people yesterday on the post and people in the chat already saying I'm still rocking my original 360. It works like a charm. I don't know how your battery life is working, but
I don't know how that OMAP processor is still ticking, but
yeah,
apparently
TI
it is.
OMAP processor in the original, like it's crazy. So, and the big part of it is that Google's got Android Wear 2.0 coming early next year. And
no one has a watch on the way.
No one has a watch on the way. We've heard that LG wasn't planning one. Huawei might be ditching an Android Wear altogether. So Google, if it seems like Android Wear is completely on their shoulders now. We know Samsung's not making one. They're too busy.
And Asus is still doing it. The new Zen watch just came out, so
did it?
That's like their partner. I think so. At least
it hasn't.
Internationally, maybe.
Maybe I haven't. I was looking for it, and I mean that announcement was months ago, and I followed up with them, and I haven't heard any word back on U.S. availability for the Zen Watch 3. So they could be holding off for Android Wear 2.0.
Much.
Oh, they love us. Everyone loves us. But
maybe
point being,
internationally anyway. Yeah.
Sure, Asus. That's not really enough to ignite the platform of Android Wear. So I think Android Wear, it's safe to say, that is dead or is dying. It's really not even that. It's
revive the whole platform.
It won't though. 2.0 sucks. Like they say, it's the biggest update for the platform, but really, if you look at the changelog, is there really anything like you care about?
It's mostly some UI tweaks.
Yeah, like it's not cool. Like it doesn't bring anything.
It'll have its own app store, which sounds like hell. Shopping for apps.
Oh yeah, let me shop for apps on this 1-inch display. Great. Come on, Google. I guess just be done with it. I mean, it seems like a waste of money at this point. So, I mean,
I've been wearing the old tag.
Oh hell yeah! If you got a tag,
like when I leave the house, like, and one of the big reasons is, a lot of times we go out, while driving, when notifications come in, it's nice to just look at your wrist.
Sure.
But my son, when we go to like eat or something, he's one of those like disaster children in public restaurants now. And so he wants so you give him like a phone or something to play with. And then I can still get notifications from my phone while he's playing on it. So then I know what's like still going on in the world.
Yeah, sure. So if you have $1,000 plus smartwatch, yeah, sure. Go ahead, keep using it. Be my guest. But if you've got like, I don't know, this janky Android Wear experience. And plus, I think the real death of it has been that they never really found out a way where you can easily take your watch, hook it up to a new device without completely wiping it.
Yeah, like that's still a bad situation. Why can't I have it paired to multiple devices?
Yeah, something like that. Like it's just simple things that build up and create like this really not so friendly user experience.
Somebody actually posted about that this week on I think it might have been Pocket Now. I think they wrote a story that was why is Android Wear still such a pain in the ass to set up, is basically what I just like, all I saw was the title and I just was nodding as I was reading it, like, what is the deal? Because every time you set it up, and I know a lot of people set up once, they have one phone, one watch, I get it, but it takes a long time to set up an Android Wear device. It is not the most user-friendly thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. So
anyways, Moto, not making one.
Yeah, Moto's not making one. Sorry, everyone who was waiting. This is not surprising. Motorola, it seems they have no real control over what it is that they're making these days. So who knows?
Yeah,
Lenovo.
Which is too bad, because like you said, they were making, you could argue that they made
the best.
Well, I would say two of the best three, right? Sure, because the original Moto 360 was awesome. The second gen was solid, but the Huawei watch was right there with the second version. But the first Moto 360 was awesome. Outside of the crappy processor, like just design wise, and all that was just great.
The original Moto 360, I mean, it turns heads. Like that, kind of like that infinity like display. Absolutely,
it's still the best looking, I think.
Easy. Like there's no, in my mind, this is my opinion, but no comparison in terms of like design versus even Huawei watch, second gen Moto 360. Just that OG one. It's just plain, minimal.
All they needed to do was just redo that same case with modern internals and
update the display, like pixel density, new processor. And that could have been that Snapdragon Wear 2000 or whatever the hell.
Instead, they put lugs on it. We didn't want lugs. We can get lugs elsewhere.
Yeah, but lugs give you added battery life somehow. They got the battery inside the lugs.
They did say that.
Yeah, so something's going on there. But they could have done it, man. They could have had it, but no, they're gonna just give up. But I'm with them. If I was like if I was looking at my budget. And I was like, well, what do we have money for?
And you're a dying company,
do we do Moto Mods or Android Wear, which is a dead platform? Yeah, I guess we're gonna go Moto Mods. So
So speaking of Moto Mods, they at this press gathering they talked about Moto Mods, and I think on one hand they talked about how they could bring these to cheaper devices in the future, but they talked about how next year. Basically by mid-year, they're going to try to release 4 new mods. I think at least 4 new mods per quarter. Oh, so they're not backing away. Like LG, everyone thinks has already ditched the modular thing because it just didn't. Their implementation. We've talked about this a lot, but their implementation was just not great. Motorola's implementation is great. They just haven't created any really great mods, but they seem like they've got some ideas working. So starting next year again, they're going to start just pushing these things out like crazy. And so I would assume that also means that the design of next year's lineup of Moto Zs probably isn't going to change that much, right? Because these mods all have to fit on there. So, which is fine as long as they maybe slim up some bezels or something, something like that.
Take away that awful placement, like that home or the home button fingerprint. Like, not a fan of the square. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a bad design idea. But anyway, so some ideas they've tossed out already as potentials: a Tango mod. So obviously Lenovo made the Fab 2 Pro, which is the first Tango device. But they're saying they can create a mod that adds Tango functionality that you could just slap on the back of a Moto Z. So like Lenovo and Google specifically made the Fab 2 Pro, put all these cameras on it. It's like the Tango phone. And Motorola is now like, we can just recreate this in a mod, slap it right on your Moto Z. And there you go. You have a Tango phone.
Yeah, I guess if it's anything like the Hasselblad attachment, then I wouldn't expect too much from it.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is the Moto Z is a higher end phone than the Fab 2 Pro. Like it has a better processor and all that stuff. So could be something to work.
Tango 2 phone surprisingly inexpensive for like the device it is. It's like $500, ain't it?
It might be cheaper than that. It might be like $4.
Wow.
Yeah. I have one here.
Oh yeah, it's bigger than your face.
I haven't pulled it out of the box yet, but look at this bad boy.
Yeah, I think it's a tablet. It's huge.
It's got a 6-inch display or whatever. So they also talked about a 5G mod. So as I think they're one of Verizon's early partners for 5G testing, and they said they can make a mod that you just slap right on the back of your phone, and you could then have 5G speeds if there was a 5G network, which is kind of a big deal. Yeah. They talked about putting an e-ink display in one. They made a mention of a baby monitor. So Motorola makes baby monitors. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
So it's just kind of funny that they threw that out there. But the e-ink display obviously would be a battery saving thing.
Sure.
What was that phone called out of Russia that had the dual display?
I know what phone you're talking about. That wasn't a Yoga.
Yeah, it was. It was Yoda. Yoda phone.
Yoda phone. Thank you.
Yeah, it tried to come here on like Indiegogo and then failed.
Yeah, because everyone said that phone was like awesome. I just didn't get it. There's a lot of things I just don't get, but that was one of them.
Yeah. So anyway, think of Yoda phone.
All right.
As a mod, basically, e-ink display.
It's cool.
I think. Well, those are the ones they talked about. They could create. They also said to expect a 3,000 milliamp hour Mophie battery pack, which I think you can actually buy at Verizon today. And then they have
battery packs for it.
Yeah, but 3,000 milliamps is the biggest one so far. And then Incipio made a car dock. So that's actually kind of cool. A car dock mod where you just slap it in and it charges and does audio and all of that stuff.
That's cool.
And Motorola also said that people that buy the Moto Z, now we don't know how many people actually bought the Moto Z, but
50 people.
But they said half of Moto Z owners are actually using mods. 20% of them actually bought that projector and Hasselblad.
Oh, those poor souls.
Yeah, because those things weren't cheap and they were not that good. I shouldn't say the projector wasn't that bad. Like if you used it in a small room and you didn't need the picture to be big, it could do its job. But the Hasselblad thing, I don't know why anyone would buy that thing. That camera was so bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, that shows that Motorola still fully invested in the mods idea, and I'm totally down with that. At least they're doing something different. I don't know if it's ever going to turn them into this mega phone company again, but they did a good job with it. And if they start making these available to more phones, right? Because they have the Z and the Force and then the Play, so they already have 3 devices. If they can put it like on a Moto G or something too, and really expand, that could be a pretty big deal.
Crazy.
We'll see.
Moto used to do some cool stuff back in the day. I remember when Blur was still all the rage. I forget if it was the Bionic or something else, but there was like that
Blur
laptop. Yeah, remember that laptop dock? Yeah, the laptop. You plug the phone into it, and it like is the OS. Like that was kind of cool.
It was kind of ahead of its time, I would say.
It was, and now we're bringing Android apps to Chromebooks. I mean, really, we've come full circle.
It was kind of like the first Chromebook almost.
It was almost, yeah.
It was that was Sanjay Jha back in the day. That was the first CES we went to, was the laptop one, because that was they showed it off at the Atrix.
Oh,
It was
Atrix.
the Atrix was it, and then they showed the Bionic. And remember, they showed us the Bionic, and it was in one form, and then
A
by the time they
different
released
phone.
it, it
Yeah.
changed.
That was good times. Yeah, Motorola had a huge booth. Like
They used
that
to
was
have a
like,
huge booth
yeah,
at
that was like
CS. Now they're not even
CES.
there.
Yeah, CES back in the day was pretty awesome.
It was actually fun back in the day. We saw the Zoom.
The
Anyway, we'll talk about
HTC
CS later.
Thunderbolt. Yeah.
Yeah, Thunderbolt. Yeah, HTC doesn't do anything anymore either.
No.
So yeah, that's what's going on with Moto. In OnePlus 3 news, OnePlus 3T in-house. I know you can't really tell the difference between that and the 3 other than the color.
I was gonna say, how do you know if you're holding a 3T and not a 3?
Oh, here it is.
Is there any marking on the
It's
device?
no, it's the color. So in this hand, see how it's just slightly darker?
3T.
That's it. Yeah, 3T right here, the one I'm shaking.
Wow.
That's the only difference, is the color. So I'll have a review of this probably pretty soon, but so this came out. We're talking about it because we haven't had a show since this thing came out, but the only difference is Snapdragon 821.
Yep.
64 and 128 gig storage options instead of just 64. Front 16 megapixel camera, 3,400 milliamp hour battery, and a price difference. What's the price difference? This thing's $439.
I thought it was just $40 different.
Yeah, so $439.
Yeah.
So $40 more, and you get a bigger battery, a newer processor, and a better front-facing camera.
That would be the way to go, I would think, unless you're a OnePlus 3 owner who just got totally screwed. But yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Did OnePlus 3 owners just get screwed, or should we just look at this as, OnePlus is just upgrading a phone and they didn't really leave those people behind, or did they? I don't know how to feel, actually. I guess if I bought a OnePlus 3, as long as I didn't buy it a month ago, then I'd be pissed. But when did it come out? When did the OnePlus 3 come out?
That was like July, June,
July. So it hasn't even been out for 6 months, and they got a new version. If you bought it initially, I don't know that I feel like people should be that mad. But if you bought a OnePlus 3 a month ago, you should probably be pissed.
I would be pretty upset. It depends on how much you value those changes, right? Like, okay, 820 versus 821, you're not going to notice like all that much of a difference. There's no huge jump in RAM. The difference will be if the camera is a lot better, and if that 400 milliamp hour boost in battery is going to be a huge difference. Is that worth $40? Man, I don't know. The camera on the OnePlus 3 is already pretty decent. Like, it's not that bad. So, and the battery life on the
same
OnePlus
rear
3
camera
too.
Yeah, the rear camera hasn't changed. So.
Oh, right. So it's just the front facing.
It's just the front one. Yeah.
Who uses that anyway? So yeah, Snapchat people, weirdos. Yeah. So if I bought the OnePlus 3, I'm a little upset just because like maybe OnePlus should have held off and like just launched the 3T as the OnePlus 3. Like it's just something that we haven't seen from OnePlus before. We haven't seen them release the same phone with updated. Yeah, it's very Apple, but even Apple waits a year. Like they don't like it's those early adopters that are getting screwed. But hey, if you want to be an early adopter, prepare to be screwed because you're screwed all the time.
That's true.
Like I bought the Xbox for Xbox One when it first came out, $400. Now it's like $250, and I can get a terabyte of storage and HDR gaming, all this crap. Like either way, when you early adopt stuff, you're
always getting screwed.
Yeah. So this isn't like a huge travesty. Like I'm not going to write an op-ed in New York Times saying like OnePlus, you totally screwed me on this, but it's still kind of it's crappy.
I think it's because it's so soon, right? It's not even 6 months, and so it feels a little dirty.
Yeah. So, but yeah, someone in the chat said OnePlus pulled an Apple Update S. Exactly. It's the same thing.
Wait a year, which is
except
why
they didn't wait. Exactly. So, that's OnePlus though. They always do silly things like that.
The good news is the OnePlus 3 is still a really good phone, and it's not very old. But yeah, there is a 3T, and it does have some upgrades. But yeah, the upgrades aren't that big of a deal. The 821 processor is not that big of a jump from the 820. No. The 400 milliamp hour battery, is that getting you maybe an extra hour of time? That's not a lot. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So, and then the front camera is, instead of 8, it's now 16 megapixels, so whatever. But I have been using it though, and I will say this is one of the best phones this year. Just the OnePlus 3 in general.
Now that they fixed the back button, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the on-screen buttons finally work properly. But dash charging is the best fast charging on the planet, I would say, because your phone doesn't get hot and it still charges fast when you're using it. Everything about it is pretty great. Fingerprint reader on this is really nice. The only thing it doesn't have is Nougat. But what I will say is, and I don't want to always bring up the V20 and talk trash, but the V20, I've been off and on with it, and I can't bring myself to review it. I will. But like, it was running Nougat, and I couldn't handle it. This is not even running Nougat, and I'm totally fine switching from Pixel to this. Like, this actually just feels like such a better phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, OnePlus 3 did a nice job. We'll have a review of this little guy soon. It's not like it's that hard to review. It's the same phone with some upgraded internals.
I wish the phone itself wasn't so slippery. Like, imagine this. If they took that material the OnePlus 1 was made out of and put it in the OnePlus 3 or on the OnePlus 3, dude, that would be...
I miss that grip tape stuff so bad.
Yeah, that was awesome. Someone in the chat said, it's more expensive. Why would people be upset? Dude, because it's only $40 more expensive.
Yeah.
Like, $40 is nothing if we're talking like cell phone pricing. So for those features that they feel is worthy enough to launch a new device not even 6 months later and only charge $40 more, like, I would feel kind of like, I would feel icky if I was a recent OnePlus 3 purchaser like a month ago. I'd be upset.
Yeah, if you just purchased one a month ago, I think you have a right to be a little pissed.
Yeah, and I don't know their return policy.
Program.
That's what I said. I was like, hey, if you bought the phone within 4 weeks of our announcement, we will allow you to return it. And or something, like, we'll help you sell it on Swappa. Like, I don't care. I don't know what OnePlus 3s on Swappa are going for, but probably like not list or retail price.
Probably no. Well, the OnePlus 3 though, you can't even buy now, so because they killed it.
They killed it. So that's another odd thing. Like, I just bought a phone, then a month later, like not even half a year later, they've killed it. Like, I can't even buy it. It just seems odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. It's just different. Like, we'll get used to it.
How does Swappa even work? I just tried to search OnePlus 3. Oh.
Swappa works.
I'm just trying to figure out how. There we go.
Oh.
People are selling OnePlus 3s on Swappa for lowest price I'm seeing is $365. That's almost full price.
That's not bad.
You got a OnePlus 3, sell it on the Swappa. Buy yourself a 3T if you really want to.
Yeah. So yeah, listed at $350 and you're good.
So much people want more than what they paid for it.
Oh.
Like, why would you? So like, this guy wants he wants $435 for his OnePlus 3. Bro, you could get the 3T for $439. Why would anybody buy that from you?
Maybe he's got like all the cases and stuff like that, and he has like a messenger bag that comes with it, a whole bunch of a T-shirt.
He says it's mint. Well, here's some sort of case, or is that just some terrible D-brand skin? Yeah, no, he's wrapped it in some faux leather,
and now he wants more money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So mint condition with a D-brand skin and glass screen protectors, and he wants $435 for it.
Hey, goodbye.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
So OnePlus 3 though, yeah, it came out since we've last done a show. I've got one review soon, in case you're wondering.
Totally.
Basically, it's just like the old one. It's still good. Yeah. All right. So AT&T and DIRECTV announced DIRECTV Now, which is their live streaming TV platform, and it's available now.
Oh.
And it's a decent deal, I think. It's like Sling TV, it's like PlayStation View, it's like all those, but it's obviously backed by DirecTV, which is a big player. Their plans start at $35, get you 60 channels. There's a $50 plan that gets you 80, a $60 plan gets you 100 channels, and a $70 plan that gives you 120. But to kick off the launch, they're doing the $60 plan for $35 a month, which is 100 plus channels. And if you stick with that, you get to keep that price forever, basically. It works on Fire TV, Chromecast, Apple TV, but no Android TV app, which is kind of so deal breaker stuff for me.
Yeah.
It has ESPN and AMC and TNT and all that stuff. Some access to some local channels and some local sports networks, not all of them. It really is just like PlayStation View and Sling TV. I think it has more channels than Sling TV. I would compare it more to PlayStation View, but it doesn't have DVR and PlayStation View does. It looks like a decent option, but no Android TV.
Yeah, real downer. Like, sure, you can Chromecast everything and Google Cast, but it's just too much of a pain. I did sign up for the trial, so I'm currently in the trial. But there's no DVR, no Android TV, and these are things I've just come to like use and love. And so I feel like I'm leaning PS View now because I really want to ditch Comcast. But they've really got a hold on me.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, they also have HBO for $5 a month, which is a really good deal. I forgot about that. That's a really
good deal. Yeah, down from the standard like 15 a month.
Yeah, it's 15 if you buy it through HBO Now.
Yeah.
So it's available now, directtvnow.com if you really do want to sign up. There's an Android app. The app works fine, but like Tim just said, no DVR, no Android TV. Yeah.
Some of the channels aren't live either. Like they only offer on demand.
Yeah, so CBS, well, I don't know if they have CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, same thing on PlayStation View. They're not live. They're so if you want to watch like, I don't know what shows are on, Gotham or something, you don't get to watch those when they air. You get to watch them on demand later, kind of thing.
That's really stupid.
Yeah, and so like what I had to do, because I canceled Comcast cable and I actually subscribed to PlayStation View, I went and bought like a TV digital antenna receiver. And so if I want to watch like sports that are on ABC or CBS or whatever, I have to do it like the old-fashioned way through like although the antennas now don't look like really crappy.
They've gotten much better. I'm getting emails about antennas because they're like, everyone's switching away from cable. Like everyone needs an antenna. Something like
they're actually pretty. I hooked this thing. Mine's just like this white box that lays on the top of my fireplace where my TV is. You almost can't even see it. It just like blends into the white top, and it gets like full HD stream basically. Well,
except
from the airway or wherever it pulls that stuff from.
That's crazy to think about. Like, no wonder we're all dying from cancer, man.
There's HD waves flowing through our body at all times.
Everything, microwaves and stuff. No. Brett in the chat says no one has an Android TV.
What?
Dude, what are you talking about?
You people?
I don't know. That's like his reality. That's your universe, not mine. Like, I live with Android TV and I enjoy it. So the TV behind me is
Android hooked up upstairs, and my main TV has Android TV built in. If it didn't, I'd have a damn Shield hooked up to it. But we're Android fanboys. I also had Fire TVs for a while. I would see why people would buy those. They're actually pretty solid, but they don't have access to Google Play Movies, which is where all my movies are now.
Exactly. So what brand antenna you rocking?
I'd have to look it up.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, I don't know antenna brands offhand, but I can tell you about it. I bought it at Best Buy, I think, for like $20, and it's pretty legit. There's all sorts of these things. I had no idea there was this brand new market for. Oh, it's an Insignia. It's an Insignia HD TV multi-directional. Oh, it's $25.
Oh, that's a little pricey for me.
$25 for free TV.
That's like there's. I know it's not even monthly. It's not even monthly, and that's too much. $25 Anyways, lifetime subscription.
So yeah, DirecTV Now. If you're interested, you really can sign up now. And if you are interested, you might as well go for that $60 plan, which is $35.
Yeah, not bad. And then to throw this out there, well, I'm not talking to the guy who thinks Android TV doesn't exist, but Android TV now has a Twitter app. And so if you want like Thursday Night Football, you can stream Thursday Night Football through the Android TV app to your HD TV or wherever. So that's a definite plus too. Like, again, if this is we're talking to the cord cutters here. Yeah, TNF through Twitter. Pretty cool. Although Thursday Night Football was totally sucked, but last night was good.
Last night's game was fine.
Yeah.
All right, another new Samsung Pay. So the Samsung Gear S3 is out, and Samsung Pay works on it as a standalone app and service with other Android phones outside of the Pixel, basically, which is kind of cool. I don't think when it initially launched, we all really knew that was going to work. But if you own a Gear S3, Samsung's newest ginormous watch, you can set up Samsung Pay on it and pay for things with Samsung Pay and use whatever other Android phone you want instead of a Samsung phone, which is kind of a big deal. Again, outside of the Pixel. Doesn't work on the Pixel for whatever reason, which is kind of crappy, but that kind of came to light today. Yeah, it works with the G5. Nexus 6P, HTC 10. It works with quite a few phones, just not the Pixels.
Yeah, I mean, considering how closed Samsung's ecosystem was, I mean, it's actually huge breaking news.
Yeah.
No. But who has a Gear smartwatch? Those things don't even exist. Never seen one.
No one buys.
I've never seen one. All I ever do is see bloggers wearing them, like at press events. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a Gear S watch. I've never seen like a real human being wear one.
That's the only time you see those. And most Android Wear watch. I mean, like some of the nerds that we talk to all day long wear them, but yeah, most normal human beings don't. I see Apple watches and I just shake my head.
Yeah, I'm like, what a waste of money, dude.
Yeah, I feel bad for the people that spend money on that crap.
Yeah,
Android Wear is so much better than Apple Watch, and I know I'm obviously sort of biased on that, but I used an Apple Watch for a while and it sucked. I know it's been a while, but I would much rather use the old tag.
Oh yeah.
Boy. Okay. Rumor reports Amazon may be working on an Echo with a touchscreen. I'm curious to hear what you think about this. So the idea is Amazon Echo, 7-inch or so touchscreen, bigger speaker, control all the things in your house with touchscreen or voice or whatever, both. Is that something you would be interested in? Just curious.
I just have no idea what I'd be using the touchscreen for yet. Like I would need Amazon to tell me why I need a touchscreen. Although I could see it being cool. But
is it basically just like people that have a tablet custom set up to control their house? Is that what Amazon's envisioning? Because otherwise, what's the point? I have a phone if I really would need to use a screen, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like, so say you got those Philip Hue lights. There could be
one touch, just boop.
Oh yeah, like it could be a touch, but you can also there's like a color wheel, and say you so you can program your lights too, like just third party stuff like that. But maybe they'll let you browse Amazon.com, like if Alexa can't find something for you.
That's
I don't
true
know.
too. Yeah,
you can order your dash buttons, or you can like make sure all your dash buttons are connected through this little hub. Like
quickly shop for all the stuff you normally do. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it. I just I don't know yet if that's what they're trying to implement.
I guess it depends on how big it is too. I don't know that I would want a big tablet-y speaker thing always on my counter that I have to move around my house.
Exactly. That's what's cool about Alexa and Home, right? They're kind of small and portable. Like not portable, but yeah, you can sort of get them in the corner. It sounds like this hub thing needs to be like a centerpiece in your kitchen, possibly. So we'll see. Yeah. It sounds cool. I just Alexa is Echo is already so expensive, I feel like, for what it is. How much are they going to charge for this thing?
I'm guessing like $350.
No. I'm thinking $250 tops.
$250. Yeah, I mean, you're usually better at guessing those prices than me. That wouldn't be too bad, but rumor is could be as early as Q1 2017. I feel like Amazon holds these things pretty secretively, pretty well. So maybe it will arrive. And we just won't know anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. Amazon has been very good about that stuff. Props to them. Kudos.
Yeah. In Nougat news, a whole bunch of phones get Nougat these days. I was kind of going through the list, and a lot of people unlocked HTC 10 on Thanksgiving, basically. G5 on Sprint, T-Mo, and Verizon, all with Nougat. Moto Z and Moto Z Force both got Nougat on Verizon. OnePlus 3 beta Nougat available for everyone. Nextbit Robin Nougat beta.
Wow.
There's a whole bunch of Nougats. No Samsung phones yet, of course.
Nah. They're too busy mopping up.
Well, I guess there is a beta, right?
Yeah, there's the beta.
My wife's running it. So I guess there is. So I should. All right. I take it back, Samsung. I'm sorry. S7, S7 Edge beta, select devices, limited number of people, but it's out there. So Nougats are rolling around. Yeah, the only thing that sucks there is it's all 7.0. Like
not
Pixel's got 7.1, Nexus 7.1. And the difference there is that 7.1 changed the first pull down, right, where it shows your quick toggles up top. Like there's an extra toggle and a settings button and stuff. So none of these Nougat phones on 7.0 have that, which after using the Pixel for a good month or so drives me nuts now when something doesn't have just that little tiny thing. But
I guess, so like as an Android user, I love all the choices that we have in phones and the variety and all that stuff. But then, when you think about it, at least in terms of the updates and the OS you're running, why would you ever buy anything else besides a Nexus or a Pixel device? I mean, isn't that like important to people? Like, I just don't know what other phones might be offering over, say, a Pixel phone. Yeah, maybe a smaller retail price and water resistance and stuff. But
well, there you go. There's your answer right there.
No, but like when we're talking, like, I'm just talking about like software updates though. And so people have these other phones that don't get updated nearly as quick, and then they're complaining about it or something. It's like, well, you can't complain. I mean, you don't have a Nexus phone or a Pixel phone. Like, it's going to take months for you to get this stuff. But
well, yeah, I would say at this point, if you care, if software updates are the most important thing, or at least way up there on your list of important things, you shouldn't buy anything but a Pixel. But if you don't have them high up on that list, then you just don't deserve the option to complain about them.
Yeah.
Well, to complain about it, right?
Sure.
So, because I could see why people would buy Samsung's phones. Their cameras are awesome and they're waterproof, and they have expandable storage and fast wireless charge. Like, Samsung still puts the best of everything in their phones. But yeah, if you value quick updates, you're never going to get them. And I think people are willing to, at this point, trade off on that. I would say updates were a bigger deal years ago when the OS like had major jumps. Right now, the jumps aren't that often, and Samsung's doing monthly security patches. So
just give me a Samsung phone with that hardware, with stock Android that gets updated straight from Google and Samsung, I guess, and we're in business. Like the best specs with the best OS. That'd be the way to do it.
Just give us one more Google Play edition.
Google Play edition,
Galaxy S8 Google Play edition.
Oh, that'd
just
be
do it.
freaking sick.
Just do it. Yeah.
That'd blow my mind.
But yeah, so Nougat updates are actually rolling out, and I played with the HTC 10 over the weekend. I updated mine to Nougat, played with it for a while. Runs really great.
Yeah.
I don't have a G5 on Sprint or Verizon. I may have a T-Mo one, but it's the same. The Nougat there is the same as on the V20. I don't have a Moto Z, but I'm tempted to see Nougat on the Moto Z. I don't know. I put it on the OnePlus 3, but whatever. And then Huawei also announced their Nougat plans this week.
I got 6 phones, I think,
and they're all upgrading to EMUI 5.
Yep. That's the plan, at least. We got, I think, the M8 lined up, P9, P9 Plus, P9 Lite, Nova, and Nova Plus. Yep, that's them. So
is the Mate 9, that's already running Nougat, right?
Yeah, the Mate 9 already comes running EMUI 5 and Android 7.0. And got to tell you guys, it's pretty big, and it's not available yet, but I don't think in the US, but it's pretty sick. It's got stereo speakers, it's got expandable storage. This phone had dual Leica cameras. Like, it's got everything you'd really want.
Is it waterproof?
No. Unfortunately. If it was waterproof, it might be the greatest phone ever.
Greatest phone ever. So it's not too huge, and the UI is not terrible anymore?
No, it's huge. Like, the phone is hard to use, and it's this is the heaviest phone I think I've had in a long time.
Really?
It's like a tank. So super heavy, but the EMUI has gotten so much better. I was using the Honor 8 and that rocks EMUI 4 something. But yeah, so much better. Like the system toggles are where you want them to be. The settings menu has the little pull out just like it does on the Pixel. It's very cool. It's very nifty. They need some tweaks on like the lock screen and notifications still, but other than that, it's gotten so much better.
They're never going to fix that.
Yeah, but it has gotten better. I will say that. So yeah. Birds are asking,
why do you guys talk so much about Huawei? We talk a lot about Huawei because Huawei is coming in a big way.
Yeah, but is that even true? Why do you guys talk so much about Huawei? No one has ever said that in the history of Droid Life.
That's true. Like, we actually don't talk that much about Huawei.
Yeah, exactly.
We talk about the Huawei watch a lot when talking about Android Wear because they made a really nice Android Wear watch.
Yeah, we talk about the Nexus 6P Huawei made. I mean, and Huawei's getting better. I mean, they've got their Honor brand. The Honor 8 was very good. This M9 is really good. Really, this 2016 has been the year where we actually talk about Huawei. So and that's because other companies aren't as important to talk about anymore, right? So they've kind of taken the place maybe of like HTC or Moto a little bit. I mean, they actually got stuff going on.
Only the Mate 9 they said is coming to the US. That's why we're talking about it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Bertzer. Get with it. Read
So,
Droid Life, man.
So the
Best
other
source up there.
phones we have ignored for the most part because they aren't coming here, but they actually did say the Mate 9 will come here. So
Yes,
that's
they just
fine.
haven't said when.
Right. So that's why we're talking about it. Come
Yeah,
on,
it's
Bertzer.
nice. Come on, Bertzer. Bertzer.
In other news, Cyanogen, that company, they're basically done for, right?
Well,
They've laid off almost all of their employees, and now they're downsizing from 2 offices to 1 in California. So they're closing their Seattle office. And Steve Kondik, who the company's named after, is gone. He's no longer with the company. And yeah, in case anyone cares about Cyanogen, they are shrinking quickly.
that's unfortunate, dude. Like, I think about the days back in the OG days, man. I mean, Cyanogen, everyone knew that name. Everyone had flashed that ROM at one point or another. I mean, it was the biggest name in Android after Android itself. Clockwork Mod and all that's Kosh, all these guys. So it's unfortunate. It's kind of like the end of an era, I think. But I think we're gonna move on just fine. What I do hope is that all those employees that went to work there find work at other awesome places and stuff like that. So,
oh yeah, I mean the worst part about this is that a whole bunch of people, community people that a lot of you like probably know, who contributed to Cyanogen Mod, who were just in the community running forums, doing whatever, they moved to Seattle.
Yeah.
Like we know multiple people that moved to Seattle from all over the country to work there. And it only lasted a couple of years because they had leadership that obviously had no idea what the hell they were doing. And so all these people don't have jobs now, which is really unfortunate. They're all talented people and they'll find work, I'm sure, but it still sucks.
I would be so embarrassed if my CEO was talking about putting a bullet in Google's head. Like I would have found probably new work pretty damn quickly after that. I'm like, nope, I don't want any part of this crazy shit.
that was early on enough. I wouldn't doubt it if they were all like rawing around that.
It's totally possible. Yeah.
And then they realized how big of a mistake that was pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Cyanogen, if you do care, they are kind of barely hanging on, and their founder is now out.
And they're pivoting, which they said they weren't going to do.
But pivoting. Yeah.
No, they're not pivoting, but they're pivoting.
Yeah.
So look up the definition of pivot, and you'll see Cyanogen pivoting. But yeah,
good times.
Yeah.
So massive Pokemon news. I think you might have been gone when this dropped.
Oh no, but I lived it. I was in Salt Lake City and I downloaded the update and I lived it, man. I lived it. I'll tell everyone if you want.
Yeah, just do this because I was wondering if you had like got back in, what you did.
I got back in hard. And my girlfriend totally hated me. That's fine. Pokemon Go updated. So they were using this new tracker system a while ago. They removed any type of tracking system. Then they added in like a nearby feature. It totally sucked. Either way, they were testing this nearby feature or this tracking system in San Francisco. If you went to San Francisco and opened up the app, you would be sort of like entered into the server side change. So
it was awesome. I did it once when I was in San Francisco. Yeah.
Now they rolled it out to everyone west of the Mississippi, and
they may have actually expanded that in the last day to everyone in the U.S.
Yes, recently they just expanded it. So, but what they did is they expanded it to everyone west of the Mississippi River, and it was awesome. You could open it up, tap on like the nearby Pokemon thing, see where Pokemon were according to how close they were to a Pokestop. So you would just press on a Pokemon. It would show you exactly where it was. You just walk there and capture it. It was beautiful. Like it worked just how you want it to work. So now that's open to everyone else in the U.S. And it's actually it was pretty great. Now, of course, I have already gotten bored of it. But now
that you're back in.
Yeah, the new tracker was totally awesome. And then also they added in a new Pokemon called Ditto. And he's a little pink glob. And so his thing is that he's an extremely weak Pokemon, but the first Pokemon that he goes up against inside of a gym, he copies their stats, their combat power, their moves, etc. So they can, if you got Ditto going up against a Gyarados, he can be pretty beefy, but I can already see people in the chat, hey, Pokemon, so I'm going to move on.
They're all just ignoring our Pokemon.
One guy gives me like the straight eye space, and yep, I'm done. That's the signal. Damn, cut it.
I was just curious, yeah, if you had picked it up because that
I
update did drop while you were gone. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and plus, I was in Salt Lake City. I've never been there before, so I was doing a lot of walking around. So it was a total blast. I'm sorry that everyone's so negative and hates Pokemon, but it was a good time. I had fun.
I'm glad you had fun playing
Thank you.
Pokemon again.
Yeah,
Probably felt good to be back a little bit.
little bit.
So we talked briefly about this earlier, but CES. You can't even call it the Consumer Electronics Show anymore. Did you know that? They actually specifically say, do not call this the Consumer Electronics Show. Just call you CES. That's the official branding now. So anyway, CES is coming soon. For those who don't know what CES is, it is a giant electronics show in Las Vegas every year, first week of January. How many years have we gone to this now?
This will be our 7th? No, 6th?
7th, I think.
Yeah, 7th. Wow, my first guess.
7th CES. And it's just a week of electronic stuff. It used to be a cool mobile-ish event, and there used to be cool mobile news out of it. That died about 3 or 4 years ago. So now Tim and I just go see some fun stuff, hang out in Vegas for a while, and have fun. But there'll be some companies there like Honor, Huawei, NVIDIA. I think Motorola and Lenovo have some stuff planned. So this year actually might be better than years past. I don't know that we're ever going to get back to
now
when 4G was arriving and it was amazing. But
last year gave us the gold Nexus 6P. So that was huge.
Like the highlight, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight, yes. But that was awesome. So if we could get like a red Pixel or something like that from somebody.
Yeah, but they didn't make it. So you have to have like a red Mate 9 or something.
HTC maybe can announce something. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, they're selling their mobile business, aren't they?
Yeah. Anyway.
So CES is coming, and it's a month actually from tomorrow. We'll be there. I think January 3rd is when we get there. Should be fun. It probably will be boring for you guys. Maybe we'll like vlog each day at CES or something.
Dude, well, I will only vlog if we have drones. So we can pick up some drones, start vlogging all over the place. If anyone else is at CES, I see David talking in the chat. If you guys want to meet up, just hit us up on Twitter. If we're around where you are, we'd love to meet up, take pictures.
Vlog.
Yeah, we could vlog with you. Don't really care. We could do anything. So, yeah, it's going to be a blast. CES is always great.
News-wise, it's pretty boring these days, but it's always fun when you're there.
It has gotten rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're there all week, so hit us up.
All right, so final topic maybe. Did you buy anything over the holiday shopping weekend? Did you take advantage of any of those deals?
I took advantage of the 50% off movie coupon that Google was handing out. Yeah, I got the Back to the Future trilogy for like $10 in HD or something like that. So that's not bad for 3 awesome Marty McFly movies. Not bad.
So you know what I did with that?
Oh, wait. Oh, I already know. You got the Harry Potter set.
No, I got that a while ago. That was 50% off a while ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. So I saw the code pop up and I was like, sweet, half off movie, bought a movie. And then I found out an hour later that you could use it on bundles.
Oh, no.
So I bought like Secret Life of Pets for my son to watch.
So you could have got Harry Potter for like $25, all the movies in HD. Because it was $50 and you could add that coupon on top of that 50% off deal.
No, I think it only brought it to $50, I think.
Really? But it was already at $50. Remember, the list price was at $50 for Harry Potter. That's why you got it. And then that 50% off.
Yeah, that was a while. No, that was a while ago. They ran like a deal a while ago. But yeah, yes, if I would have used it on that. Yeah. So yeah, I used the thing and then I went, oh, you could do that on bundles. I was so pissed. Because yeah, there was a couple of things I probably would have picked up. You could even get the Godfather set for half price. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, one guy in the chat, he says he got Harry Potter series for $25.
So yeah, that's such a crazy deal.
It is a crazy deal. I don't care if you don't like those movies or not. Like, that's 8 movies for $25. That's not bad. Star Wars bundle. Yeah, I mean, all that good stuff. So, although I already got the Star Wars bundle, like, I don't know about y'all, but I got that shit like
a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Had to have.
Yep.
But yeah.
I don't think I really bought any. I did buy some. I took advantage of the Google Home deal as potential presents for some people.
Mm.
I don't think any of my family members watch this show, so I probably talk about it, but
Yeah.
they probably know who they are if they are listening. So that, because that was a good deal. I don't really think I bought anything else.
Yeah, I didn't really do any tech stuff. I didn't see anything that really struck me as like, wow, I really need that. Like, I didn't see Hughes lights for $2 a pop or anything like that.
They were like going off is all, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about Nest Cam. I was like, man, I'm still trying to weigh. See, that's my thing right now. Like, I want like a home security and all this stuff, but I'm trying to weigh Comcast versus Nest and other stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just nice because I mean I've already got Comcast, right? I got internet. If I could package it into a deal, then maybe it's not that bad. So
yeah, I think Comcast is expensive. It's like $50 a month. Maybe they'll give you a deal if you package it, but
right. If I got that triple play,
yeah, Nest you have to pay for monthly for like backups and stuff. They give you I think up to 3 hours free per camera, which is basically all you really need. But they're all wired. Like that's the other thing. This is like a topic we should probably have one someday on the site. But everyone else is now making wire-free cameras. Like Netgear's Arlo system is like a security system, and you could go attach camera like to the tree outside of your house, and it just connects to Wi-Fi and downloads to everything and gives you notifications and all of that stuff.
Interesting.
But yeah, so yeah, the security stuff, like Nest is behind everyone else, I feel like, because all their stuff's still wired and everyone else is doing wire free.
There's a lot of options out there.
Yeah. So yeah, otherwise I didn't really buy anything.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I can't think of anything right off. I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Or whatever else you may celebrate.
Oh, I have news. I'm
news?
gonna cancel my Verizon Unlimited plan finally and switch to prepaid.
Why?
Because because Verizon just released a new $70 10 gig plan or whatever prepaid. And I looked at my unlimited bill and it's like, because they keep jacking the price up and they took away hotspot, it's now like 140 or $50 a month for a single line with unlimited data that I barely use.
Yeah, if you can't even hotspot, then that's all we were using it for.
So I used to keep it live so that Tim and I, when we traveled like CES, we could hotspot it wherever. And they took hotspot away from it. So I can't even do that.
Totally worthless now.
With the prepaid 10 gig, you can hotspot that if you want to. So we could still have 10 gig of hotspot and I could just use my T-Mobile line for everything else.
That's not bad then.
So I'm going to cancel it. It's going to be kind of sad.
That's got to be illegal. You know, what Verizon has done to their grandfathered users. That's just
destroying. There can't even be that many of them left. And they're just like, we don't care. And think about it too. They took away unlimited data like in 2010, 11. So these are people that have been their customers for 6, 7, 8, 10, who knows how many years, right? And they're just like, nah, we don't like you enough. You're using too much data. And we can make an extra $40 a month off of the 1,000 of you hanging on to this still.
Yeah. Well, that's like $40,000. So
yeah, it is.
Not bad.
So, but I have to call them because you can't, if you sign up for prepaid with Verizon, you can't transfer your Verizon number to prepaid Verizon. You have to call, and I think they have to like put a hold on your number and like reserve it so that when you sign up then for prepaid, they can swap it. It sounds terrible.
Well, yeah, they got to kill that line, and and so no one else snags it in the system.
Right.
So if it's like a 503 number, they don't even give those out anymore. So
what a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So anyway, rest in peace, Kellen's Unlimited Verizon. I held out for as long as I can, but it's just, I mean, I would save $70, $80 a month. Like that's kind of I could have 2 lines. I could have 2 Verizon lines.
That's crazy.
Yeah. On prepaid anyway.
Gosh. Well, I hope everyone has a freaking fantastic weekend and
have a fantastic weekend.
Holidays coming up. More holidays. I feel like we just had a holiday. Now we got more holidays coming.
All the holidays.
But then right after New Year's, I don't know if y'all have looked at a calendar recently, but it goes New Year's CES extravaganza. So it's going to be a busy 2017.
Mm-hmm. Also, be on the lookout for a bunch of reviews from us. Tim's got Echo, whatever the hell their name is.
LEECO. The Echo Pro 3, that'll be up on Monday if all goes according to plan.
Yeah, OnePlus 3T will be up. I have a V20 still sitting here that probably needs to be reviewed.
Yeah, I've seen people yelling at you.
Yeah,
So
we got some stuff on the horizon. I kind of want to review Eero now that Google Wi-Fi is coming out to let people
that's
know
coming.
about that.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tim will have Google Wi-Fi soon, so be on the lookout for that too. Lots of stuff.
Mate 9, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
If there's something out there that we haven't talked about that you want us to talk about in terms of reviews, let us know. We're always open for trying new stuff. So
For sure.
TV, got a TV review coming. That's going to be part of the Let Echo review. Silly. So silly.
So
Anyway.
silly. All right, cool. Well, have a safe weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Droid Live. Peace.
Peace.